Hello guys, and welcome to episode 8 of the Osnabrück journey. I'm a little bit excited because I'm not wearing my headphones, which means I've got a new microphone, and also it's the last game of the season. First season with Osnabrück, we've pretty much exceeded expectations. We've just got to get one more foot over the line. So as you can see, since the last fixture, the last episode, we lost 6-0 to Hanover in a pretty appalling game. We followed it up with a nice bounce, a nice win back against Grufer Firth. Nice little 3-0 win there, even though we picked up 2 injuries as well, which has kind of hampered us for the rest of the season. It's been very patchy, a 2-1 defeat to Regensburg, a 1-0 defeat to Stuttgart, and then an amazing 4-2 win over VfL Bochum. Bennett scored an absolute screamer. Garner and Levitt also getting on the score sheet. And we followed that up with a 2-1 defeat. Very last minute goal. We scored a penalty, but they scored in the 41st minute and then the 90+1 to snatch a victory there. And then we beat Holstein Kiel even with a last minute penalty. After they got a player sent off very early on and went 1-0 up. So it was a massive comeback in that game. But 3 wins and 3 defeats. It's not the best run of form. As you can see, before the Hanover game, we were unbeaten since the winter break. So to then lose 4 of the last... It was going to be 4 of the last 7. It's a little bit disappointing. But we've got Dynamo Dresden today, who are in 10th position on 44 points. We are in 6th on 50 points. And yeah, so we can, if we win, and Arminia Bielefeld are playing Heidenheim, who are just behind us actually. So Heidenheim could catch us on goal difference if we lose and they win. They'll go above us. But we'll probably finish around 5th to 7th, mathematically 8th, but with 5th and 8th playing each other, we're probably going to finish in and around there. Hanover also playing Bochum, and it's very tight at the top as well. Hamburg on 71, Stuttgart and Bochum both on 69, and also the goal difference 35, 32 and 31 is also very close. So we'll have to see what happens. I think we're favourites. I'd put ourselves favourites to finish 5th, but it obviously depends on what Bielefeld do against Heidenheim. But I'm pretty sure we could probably get a win over Dresden. Last time we played them, we drew 0-0. And we are going to be missing quite a few of our players as we head into this game. As you can see, 1 draw in the previous meeting. We've been a bit inconsistent. But we're just going to stick with this team for the last game of the season. Perez has got an injury, so he can't play. He's going to be out for 6 to 9 months, but his contract's up in the summer anyway. Ueim is going to be out for 3 to 6 weeks, so he's been out for quite a while as well. If we have a look at when he was out, he's missed the last 5 games, so he's going to miss quite a few. And Felix Agu has been out for a very long time as well. He's been out. He got injured in the same game, I believe, or no, he got injured in that second or the Regensburg game. So he's missed the last 4, but it means that he's not going to be fit enough to play today, and it would have been his last game for the club. He's leaving us to go and join... Who's he joining? He's joining Werder Bremen on a free, and Alvarez is also joining Cracovia on a free as well. So we might bring Alvarez on because we are struggling with a bit of depth in the wings. But yeah, we'll just have to look at it. Van Aken, Korber, and I think they're the only 2 playing their last game for us because Levitt, Garner, Schmidt and Bennett have all signed external loan deals or extra long deals. The only thing with Bennett is he does have can be recalled, so he might go back to Borussia Mönchengladbach, especially as he's played extremely well and he is currently operating at Bundesliga 2 level. So they might think that he's not quite good enough, and hopefully he will stay with us for another year. So that's going to be the team that we go with. It's been pretty standard for the rest of the season, apart for the whole season, apart from Agini, who's coming in as the fullback. But he's a good option, and he might feature a lot next season, depending on who we bring in. This summer's going to be very interesting to see who we can bring in. But that'll be the team, and we will see what happens in this match. Now, they've actually gone for a very defensive formation. They've gone for a 5 at the back, which will be interesting to see how the fullbacks operate in this system. Hopefully they won't get too far forward. Hopefully Bennett and Schmidt can keep them back. They've got their own Schmidt up front. I don't really know much of their team. I don't recognise them. But we'll go into the dressing room, and we will tell the players what we normally tell them, which is, recent form is have them in second. Wow, I didn't know that. While we're in 10th. Let's ruin their day. And we're going to tell them we have faith in them. It's what we always do. Get our assistant to set opposition instructions. And we're going to the tunnel. A Nuremberg manager's put a player on the transfer list. I don't really care. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can dent their expectations. They've had a good attacking fullback. So it'll be interesting to see how our fullbacks operate in this system with their attacking fullbacks as we get this game underway. Yeah, so their fullbacks are going to get quite high up, but they don't have anyone in front of them. So hopefully it will be a case of us just pinning them back and maybe pinning the strikers back. See here, they've got the players in the middle to cover, but they don't have enough. And Kohlwetter, lovely assist by Bennett, not even 2 minutes into the game, and we go 1-0 up, and that puts us into 5th position. Obviously, because Bielefeld haven't really got the game started, but neither have we. It's a very nice run by Bennett. It's all from Volts really getting the header above their right back or right wing back that allows Bennett to move forward and push the ball into a good position for Kohlwetter. But they've got a free kick which is cleared by Volts. Schmidt tries to get a tackle away, and well, it's his first goal of the season, and it's just gone straight through the arms of our keeper. You'd kind of expect him to do a little bit better. You see the ball's whipped in here, cleared. Schmidt just doesn't get it. A bit of a shot. Kurber is right at him. He should have really stopped it. It's 1-1, 4 minutes gone. It looks like Bielefeld actually are losing to Heidenheim. And Hanover are beating Bochum. Wow. So it's really like taken a turn. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting us to be. Well, what I was really expecting was Bochum to kind of push for this promotion a little bit more, because a win for them and a drop points for other teams in the promotion hunt, and they go up, and they definitely weren't predicted to go up at the start of this season. They were predicted to be, I think, just outside the relegation zone, and obviously we were expected to be inside the relegation zone. Actually, rock bottom of the league. To find us in 6th, I'm happy with 5th or 6th. Or realistically, I'm happy with 7th as well, as Levick wins the ball there. Hits it across to Volts. Volts has a shot. It goes across the face of the goal. I'm not quite sure whether it hit the post or whether the keeper saved it and it just took a weird angle off, but it's very, very weird angle. We're gonna tell them to demand more for the last 10 minutes of this half, because we've got a throw in. Blacker, Bennett, into Volts. Garner now plays it back to Volts. Hopefully we can get something a bit closer to the box maybe. Garner does, finds Schmidt, but doesn't quite get to him. Agini into Levitt. Schmidt fires horrendously wide, and they're going to have a free kick right on the edge of the box, and they score it. Joseph Husbauer does a little cartwheel to celebrate. His second goal of the season for him, just before half-time as well. I'm going to show some passion, see if that changed anything. But, it's a fairly good free kick, but again, the keeper probably would do better. We dropped down to 8th. So we know a defeat here at the moment will go down to 8th because of Heidenheim beating Bielefeld and Hanover winning as well. So all the teams in and around us winning. Going to half time, we're going to aggressively say I expect to see a much better showing, because I do. I don't feel like quite a lot of the players are on 6.4s, and that's kind of unacceptable at this stage of the season. They know the system that we play. We haven't really changed too much from the first team. Something that we're going to have to look at doing next season is building more of a squad rather than a first 11. We were kind of stuck with like not much budget and the players that were already here on loan and things like that. Obviously, we brought in quite a few. We brought in Levitt and Garner, and Corvetta came in the summer. But the likes of with the likes of Agu leaving as well, and maybe not being able to get Van Aken back on loan. We've sorted out the goalkeeper. We've got a new goalkeeper coming in, but we need new centre backs. We hopefully will have good midfielders as they. Hartman scores his first goal of the season from a corner, so that's like set pieces. Basically, has just undone us in this game. The keeper there. I mean, I don't want to blame Korba on his last game for us, but he has made 2 mistakes leading to goal, and I kind of expect him to do maybe one of them. I mean, he's not been great for us, as Bennett's just absolutely fires over. Yeah, he hasn't been great for us, but I'd expect him to do a little bit more than just fumble the ball into his own net. They're applying a lot of pressure. Now, maybe it's the fullbacks that are bombing on, but as you see, in these positions, we've got a lot of space. Their wing backs aren't really hindering us in any way. We're just not really exploiting the fact that that they're leaving space. As Bennett has a shot. See, their keeper actually knows how to push the ball wide. I think that's the main thing we've seen from this game. We're going to make a sub after this highlight. Instead of actually moaning about them dominating and winning, we're actually going to try and do something about it, as that was pretty poor. They fire it up to Guganig. I never know where to play Guganig, whether to play him as a centre-back or a deep-line playmaker. In like a deeper system, maybe have Blacker change to a deeper defensive midfield role. We are going to take Blacker off and we're going to bring Alvarez on. We're going to play him just as an attacking midfielder, pushing up a bit more. This could be his last game for the club, so we'll have to give him a nice little send off. I don't think we should probably bring on someone else, shouldn't we? Let's think. Maybe Haider on for Schmidt. See how that works. They've just had an injury, looks like, to Ebert in the midfield. We're going to, again, tell them to demand more. We're going to go a bit more attacking. And we're also going to change the instructions so that we kind of go a bit more. Tend to do this like towards the end of games. We go extremely direct and a high tempo. And sometimes we even go to very attacking. Heidenheim won 3 or are winning 3-0. So there's no chance that they're going to go beneath us. Ajani's going to get sent off in his last game of the season. Oh, it was only a yellow card. That's fine then. I honestly thought he was going to get sent off then, which would have been a little bit of a worry. But I mean, they've scored every set piece we've seen pretty much. As I think that was Guganig maybe tipped it or headed it behind for a corner. But again, they've already scored a goal from a corner on this side as well. As Krutzer goes over the bar for a goal kick for us. 5 minutes added on. Not quite sure how there's 5 minutes, but the time's just ticking away. We're not seeing anything. As the ball goes to Guganig. We maybe have one more chance of this half, but as we need 2 goals to level it. It'd be nice to finish the season on a goal, but looks like we might be ending it on a goal for them. Godsway absolutely just runs through the player. Korba with a good save. At least he's done something in this match. Let's just say that. They've got another corner. Hopefully they won't do anything with it. As Guganig clears, he's done that all season really. He's been a solid rock at the back. Him and Van Aken. We're going to have to definitely replace Van Aken somehow. Bennett gets tackled, but that's probably going to be the end of the match and the end of the season. Alvarez maybe one last chance to lump it in. Bennett doesn't cross it well. And yeah, that's full time. End of the season ends in a defeat to Dynamo Dresden. That'll be 6 defeats in the last 8. 5 defeats in the last 8. We're going to aggressively say I'm not happy with the result. Schmidt looked stressed, but all the other players knew that they didn't really play well. Corvetta got a goal though. It was his 19th of the season, but most of them weren't for us, as he joined the... he scored quite a lot of goals in the Bundesliga 3 as he joined in January. Well, look, we finished 8th. Definitely a good position to finish in, especially as we were predicted to finish 18th. We're definitely probably, well, I don't know if we're the best overachievers with Bochum finishing in third, but we have a look. Hamburg and Stuttgart are going to go up then. They must have both won their games. Hamburg beat Sandhausen 1-0 and Stuttgart won 3-0. So yeah, kind of very comfortably. Going down, Darmstadt and Erzgebirge Au. That's probably butchered pronunciation. And then Karlsruhe go into the playoff against whoever finishes third in the Bundesliga 3. But we will have a look. We received 10 million for finishing 8th in the Bundesliga. It'd be interesting to see if we'd finished. If we finished 8th and got 10 million, if we finished 6th, we would have got 11 million. 5th would have been 12 million. So there's 2 million in where we could have finished today. But 10 million for a club like ours is pretty decent. We joined when we had 4 million, and we spent about 3 million of it over the course of the year on wages and staff wages and travel and stuff like that. So to get 10 million will definitely boost us next year and hopefully help us stay in this league again, because I can't imagine we're going to stay too much. We finished finishing 8th. Are we going to finish in the? We got to push for top half next year, but are the media going to think that we can do that with what goes on? I'll end it here. Well, I won't end it here. I'll bring you up to date with the end of season awards, and we'll look at the best 11, and we'll talk about what we need to look for next season. This is going to be a little bit of a longer episode today because it's the end of the season. But yeah, we'll look at some of the highlights. We'll look at anything that comes up really as we go along. So the end of season awards actually happened just the next day. Fans player of the season, first was James Garner with 48%, second Dylan Levitt 22%, and third Keenan Bennett's 18%. Goal of the season was Anas Uim versus Sandhausen. We'll have a look at it. I don't think this was on a live com. It might have been, because I think it could have been the first game back. We'll have a look. Uim, he picks the ball up from here and he just runs. I think I remember this goal. I can't remember whether it was on a live com, and absolutely lashes it in from about 20 yards out. Maybe 25. It says 25 yards on there. Very good goal from him. Signing of the season was Kulvetter, 200k. He's really the only player that we brought in. And James Garner was Young Player of the Year. But this is the worry, and this is what we need to kind of step away from a little bit, I feel like. Our 3 player of the seasons are all on loan. And the same with next season. They're all going to be here next season, hopefully, unless they get recalled. But we're going to have to bring in some of our own players that can actually develop. And that's something that I've looked at with transfers, and we've already agreed to bring in some players that will hopefully be our players that we can kind of adjust and make them fit into our side. The season review, lost in the first round against Augsburg of the Cup. That's kind of expected. Finished 8th in the league. We were never going to get relegated. We were always around. I think the lowest we were at one point was 11th. We've always been around mid-table, which has been quite impressive, especially as we were expected to get relegated. Match of the season was 5-2 win against St. Pauli. A moment to forget was that 6-0 in the last episode. We actually used the joint first highest amount of players. We used 29 players. I think that was just in the start of the season when I was trying to get used to it, because get used to the squad, because definitely towards the end of the season we just used 11. That was all we kind of really used. Our average attendance 96% full, so maybe, just maybe, we might be able to ask the board for a bigger stadium. We'll have a look. Board set initial budgets, transfer budget of 3.39 million, and a wage budget of 85,000. Now, to put that in perspective, at the moment we're spending 64,000, and we're committed next year to already be spending 55. So we've got about 30,000 there, and we can always adjust the budgets to give us. Oh, we can't adjust the budgets. Okay, we can't adjust the budgets. That's going to be a lot of money, especially for this league. Hopefully we'll be able to bring in some players. Club Vision, they just want us to avoid relegation. Work within the wage budget, minimum 2-year contracts for first team players. Do not sign players over the age of 30. That is basically what I do. End of next season, training facilities improvement, youth facilities improvement, and data facilities improvement. So that's going to be a lot. They want us to become an established Bundesliga 2 team at the end of 5 years. And obviously we've got a contract now until the end, not the end of next season, but the end of the season after. We're just going to accept that current vision. I think that is completely fine. See, Alvarez is leaving. Haider is getting on a bit, but we might just keep him around. I think he's still in contract. We'll have to have a look. End of season team meeting. We'll discuss the players. I'm going to passionately say, you all deserve to be congratulated for staving off the threat of relegation this season. We're going to work hard to make sure we're well clear of that next year. You're right. I mean, Felix, you're not even going to be here, but I mean, the likes of like Guggenegg, Volts, Blacker, Vasim, they'll all be here. You're not going to get very far asking the squad to compete on a level we're not remotely close to. Most of these players aren't going to be with us. Maybe I'm being a bit optimistic, but we can still put ourselves in a position to avoid finishing in the automatic relegation places. They're all better with that. We managed to turn some players around. I'm predicting to finish in the same place next season, if not higher. We've got to push on for promotion. We can't stay in this league for too long. Although we do get a lot of money for it, so it wouldn't be too bad. This is a guy who I'm very looking forward to coming through. Currently operating at Bundesliga 3, but he could play a lot next season. Where do we want to go? We could go Austria, or Germany. Under the current plans, the camp will be held in Saxony, Lower Saxony. Let's go Salzburg. Let's go to Salzburg. But yeah, so that's the end of the season. Just quickly, transfers in for next year. We've got quite a few players. We've got on the ins. We've got quite a few players joining us. Another thing is that I believe this summer we're going to get our second team, our Osnabrück 2 side operating. So some of these players can go into that, especially as they're quite young. So we've got Kieran O'Hara coming in as our goalkeeper. Going to be first choice. Potential to be Bundesliga player. Definitely a step up from Korber. We've got 2 young right backs here. They might not make it. They have the ability to become a Bundesliga 2 player in the future. And the same with, Joe has the ability, I think, to become a Bundesliga. Looks very nice. But again, 16 years old. He's not really going to make it too quickly. Robson Louise, again, similar sort of player. The only other player we've really brought in for the first team is Theo Valls. Operating at Bundesliga 3 player, potential to be Bundesliga 2 player. So he's going to come in as like a third, fourth choice with Vasim Mekmak. I don't really know how to say his name. I'm just going to call him Vasim. French guy who we signed on a free earlier this season. Didn't play for us, but he's been progressing quite nicely. And yeah, so he's going to be coming in as a third or fourth option as well. Lots of deadwood to go out. If we look at players who haven't really played much this season, Conrad, Engel, Halbrock's a youngster coming through at centre-back, like Henning only off the bench, Tarsatov, maybe even Sebastian Klaas, Trapp, Sven Koller. Alvarez is obviously leaving. Hayer's only played 7 games. Haider played a lot off the bench, so we might keep him round. Susak played 11, so there's quite a lot of players here. Obviously, Girth is leaving us as well. Korber, Van Aken maybe leaving us as well. Agu. So we got quite a lot of players there that are actually going to be leaving us. So we're going to have to establish, if we go on to ability-wise, there's 3 really good ability ones, but we're keeping a lot of the ability in the side. And it's all of these like kind of deadwood that we're going to have to get rid of. Most of their contracts are up, so we don't have to worry about selling them too much. We'll just let them go on a free. And yeah, I think that brings us to the end of the roundup. So that brings the end of the first season at Osnabrück. We've avoided relegation quite spectacularly, finishing 8th when we were predicted to finish 18th. Next episode will be the start of the second season and a roundup of all the transfers that we've done, and even though we've seen a few already. This episode's been a little bit rambly, so let me know if you like this kind of style of it, just me rambling and talking a lot, if you make it this far into the video. If not, that's all right, you won't see this message. My links to my Twitter, my Twitch and my Discord will be down in the channel description. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.